Well, we're finally back. A day ago we received the biggest Counter-Strike 2 update to date, which is really incredible. This one brought some brand new content to the game as well as bug fixes and also some gameplay changes, which have been awaited for quite some time now. Apologies for not making any videos over the past month, but there wasn't really much to showcase with some of these updates, looking at one of the previous ones. But regardless of that, let's focus on today's video. As always, of course, the timestamps are in the description down below, so if you want to skip ahead to a specific topic, feel free to do so. Starting off with the major changes from the 6th of February. Arms Race has been added to CS2, which is pretty exciting. People have been waiting for this game mode for quite some time now, and Arms Race finally arrived with two maps, Baggage and Shoots. Both of these maps have received an overhaul for CS2. Baggage has some really nice Easter eggs as well as working conveyor belts, and Shoots just looks really nice in this kind of ancient theme, which I personally really like. We may take a look at both of these maps in more detail in a future episode, so stay tuned for that. Moving on to some new content for the game, we have received the first case for Counter-Strike 2, which is the Kilowatt Case. This one comes with 17 community designed weapon finishes as well as the cookery knife with original finishes as a rare special item. All of the featured skins use the brand new weapon model for CS2, which is pretty cool to see. One of my favorite ones definitely has to be the AK-47 though. This update also introduced a brand new sticker capsule, the Ambush sticker capsule, which comes with some pretty nice glitter stickers, as well as some brand new lenticular ones. I'm pretty sure people will find some really nice use cases for these. Alongside with the sticker capsule, we've also received flexible sticker placement, which means that stickers can now be placed at user-specified positions and rotation when applied to weapons. As you can see on screen right now, you're able to customize these stickers freely as you wish, which is certainly going to allow for a lot of creativity. And I think I'm gonna phrase it like that because there's some really wild crafts out there already. I'm pretty sure you've seen some of them. Alongside with this change, weapons support now up to 5 stickers, and they've also added a zoom feature during the sticker placement to allow for higher precision. A brand new music kit box has also been added, which comes with 6 brand new music kits. And that's pretty much already it for the brand new content we've received with this update. Let's move on to the gameplay changes, starting off with the Zeus Changes. The Zeus is now reusable in all game modes, which means it's no longer a one-time use item, and after a 30-second recharge you can use it again. Once the Zeus is recharged, you can hear this recharging sound, which is also audible for other players. An interesting fact here is that you can drop the Zeus and it's still going to continue recharging, and it's also going to make the sound, which is most likely going to allow you to bait other players. Quite an exciting gameplay opportunity here. You can also now apply stickers and name tags to the Zeus, and Valve has also adjusted the first person model. You can see the comparison on screen right now. And lastly, for the Zeus, they've added the kill card icon as well as the post round damage report. The smokes have also once again received some changes. You can see the comparison on screen right now. The rendering and animations have been improved, which in my opinion looks pretty amazing, as well as smokes now casting shadows. This is also going to change gameplay quite a bit, because you can now use these smoke grenades to block certain lights. As an example in Ancient, you can now block this light, which is no longer going to allow your shadow to be visible. Before this update you can see your shadow was still visible even through the smoke, but after this update this is no longer the case. Silencers can now always be reattached regardless of the setting that you've enabled. This was previously an issue. Player pings have also been drastically improved and are no longer blocked by invisible geometry, which was pretty frustrating before this update. If all of the members of your team have died and the bomb is about to explode, you now have this sort of cinematic camera view, which in my opinion is pretty cool. And they also address silent drops, which are possible on quite a lot of maps, as well as the pixel surfs. Collisions between players should no longer be as jittery as they were before. However, I would like to point out that it is definitely still not perfect yet. They've also added a setting to disable first-person bullet traces, which was definitely requested by some users. It's really nice to see Valve listening to feedback. Hopefully this is also going to apply for some other features users have been requesting for quite some time. We've also received a Refund All button to the buy menu. However, I would like to point out at the time of recording this video, if you happen to have 2 flashbangs, you only end up selling one of them. Valve, please fix. Lastly, for the gameplay changes, we've also received various adjustments to the Subtick shooting. In my opinion, after this update, the gameplay felt so much better than before, so I definitely enjoyed this quite a bit. Not entirely sure if this is only due to this change here, but there's definitely some really great improvements that have come with this update. Good job, Valve. And they've also made it so loadout changes are no longer allowed while searching for Premier, Competitive or Wingman. This is to ensure that loadouts are correct at the beginning of the matches. For the networking side of things, Valve has finally addressed the Peeker's Advantage. They've reduced Peeker's Advantage in many cases. The amount of Peeker's Advantage in the steady state is reduced by 16 milliseconds, and they've also reduced the frequency of situations that lead to very large Peeker's Advantage. This is really great news. From my personal experience so far with the game after this update, I feel like the Peeker's Advantage has definitely been reduced. It may be just placebo, but in my opinion the game feels a lot better in its current state than it did before. Moving on to the sound changes, we've received some brand new settings here, which you can see on screen right now. You can now select an audio input device, and Valve has also added the option to change your microphone threshold, as well as giving you the option to listen to your own microphone, which hopefully allows you to fine-tune your audio settings. The M249 has received some brand new fire sound effects, which sound pretty interesting in my opinion. I'm not fully sure yet how I feel about the brand new sound. And for the sound changes, it seems like Valve has brought back the different bomb sounds for bomb site A and bomb site B. I'm pretty sure this wasn't in CS2 before this update, so it is just something I noticed. And there were some other various improvements made to the sounds, which you can see on screen right now. For the user interface, we've received quite a few changes, starting off with the Hud Changes. As you can see, Valve has changed the weapon icons back to how they were in CSGO, which is quite interesting to see. This was not mentioned in the patch notes, by the way. You can also now have a different main menu and item inspect background, which is pretty cool in my opinion. Baggage and warehouse are some brand new options for the background maps. When inspecting a weapon skin, you can now see the first person view of that skin, which is really great in my opinion. For the in-game team chat, you will now have a prefix with T or CT. And Valve also added a brand new feature, XP Overload. This status is awarded to players who have earned all their normal XP during the week. At first I thought this was going to be some sort of extra XP that you could earn, however it seems like you only receive this icon once you've earned all of your normal experience points. And I believe the icon also changes the longer you keep your streak. And lastly, for the user interface changes, some agents have received some brand new defeat animations, which you can see on screen right now. We've also received some miscellaneous changes, minor improvements to animations during demo playback. Valve also addressed an issue where high DPI mice would result in jittery mouse movement, as well as them adjusting the range of CS rating allowed to party together in Premier Matchmaking. I believe if you have no CS rating, you're unable to play together with your friends that already have a rating, which is rather unfortunate. I think this is to combat cheaters, but I think this is also going to hurt the casual players. Moving on to the map changes, we've received a lot of bug fixes for basically every single ship map, so I only want to highlight a few of these maps, starting off of course with Ancient. Valve adjusted the grenade collision on bomb site B ground to make the grenade bounces more predictable. This is definitely a really fantastic change because as you can see before this update, they were very random to be honest. Moving on to Anubis. Anubis has received the most amount of changes out of every single map, which is also one of my favorite ones by the way, so this is kind of the reason why we cover it. Valve addressed some visibility issues as well as fixing a lot of gaps in the world, and they fixed the missing collision on stair geo at CT spawn that allowed weapons or bombs to fall out of the world. However, it seems like this is still not fully fixed yet, which is quite interesting, so I'm not really too sure if there was maybe another spot that I've personally missed. They've also fixed the missing collision at Fountain that allowed weapons to fall out of the world. They fixed some doors not generating bullet decals, however the ones I've tested still do not receive bullet decals, which is quite interesting, so I'm not fully sure which ones they mean here. They've improved the visibility at CT spawn, as well as fixing the missing collision on steps at street, which would allow dropped weapons to fall out of the world. And there were a few more issues with collisions that they've addressed with this update, but some of them I was unable to spot. Nuke has also received a lot of fixes for collision issues, which is really great to see. However, I was unable to spot any of those, which I'm quite sorry for. The only thing I was personally able to capture was the bomb site water, which now should have better reflections on low settings. Let's move on to the day 1 patch from the 7th of February. We've received some bug fixes for the stickers, where AMD graphics users weren't able to move stickers, which was probably quite frustrating. Good to see this has been fixed, and stickers with custom offsets will now render properly when inspecting. We've received some various bug fixes for the smokes, as well as a size change for the so-called waterfall smokes. And they've also fixed a performance bug with certain microphone setups. For the networking changes, CL interrupt can no longer be changed directly, but instead you have a brand new option in the settings. We've also received some animation changes, in this case a fix for the inspect animation for the cookery, as well as Valve finally addressing the bug with the incendiary grenade, which caused the fire effect to show at the feet of the player. Drop weapons will now show the weapon name or the weapon finish, rather than the custom name, so in this case the name tag. For the user interface, Valve removed the XP overload icon from the kill feed, which a lot of players requested, as well as some other bug fixes. And lastly for this video, we've also received some various crash fixes, which is good to hear because I think my game crashed twice yesterday. Good job Valve. Anyways, that's already going to conclude today's video. I hope it was informative and enjoyable to watch, and as always of course, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys. Also, before we end the video, I just wanted to say sorry for not really recording any videos over the past couple of months, but there wasn't really much to showcase and I unfortunately missed the first update of 2024 because I was sick at the time, so apologies for that. There should be more videos regularly once again, so hopefully that's alright, and once again sorry for missing the videos. See you next time, bye guys.